Welcome to Fight Back. In this ceremony, we pledge to help prevent cancer in ourselves and those around us by encouraging a healthy and proactive lifestyle. This could be anything from wearing sunscreen every day to reminding a parent not to smoke, or even encouraging your grandparents to get regular screenings. After all, the easiest way to fight back against cancer is to prevent it.
Tonight, we welcome a special guest, Brett Miller, who shares his story of having cancer at a young age.
Hello, Blue Valley Schools. My name is Brett Miller. I am the founder of the Brett Miller 1T Foundation and co-founder of the Male Breast Cancer Coalition. Thank you for allowing me the time to share my story with you today. I'm here to tell you the importance of fighting back with early detection and self-exams. I was just a senior in high school at 17 years old when I first found my lump directly under my right nipple. I was going into fall sports, had to go get my physical to play football, and I had noticed a lump a few days before the physical, and I brought it up to the doctor there. At that time, the doctor had told me that it was just a calcium buildup, it would dissipate, and it would go away. I went to go see another doctor at the end of my senior year to go get shots and stuff for college. I brought it up to that doctor, and almost said the exact same thing as, it's a calcium buildup, you're going through puberty, it'll dissipate and go away. Nothing to worry about. Fast forward 7 years later, at the age of 24, I went to a doctor to get a physical exam. The doctor was telling me that he doesn't see anything wrong with me right now, and was going to send me on my way and call me back with the blood work within the next week. Mind you, he did not check my breast for any lumps, because they do not check your breast for males in any physical. And this is the importance of early detection. Had I not told that doctor about the lump that I had, I may not be here with you today. But I did. I stopped the doctor as he was literally at the door leaving and said, "Hey doc, I've had this lump in my chest for about 7 years. Is there any cause for concern for it?" He immediately turned around, came over, and checked the lump, and immediately set me up to go get an ultrasound sonogram. I went to the imaging center, the women's center, and I got the ultrasound. The doctor, nurse technician there was doing the scan, and double checked the monitor, myself, the monitor, went back and forth, and walked me down to the next exam room to get a mammogram that I was not scheduled for, but she said that if I got the mammogram, I wouldn't have to waste any more time, take time off work, and come back in. The mammogram ended up actually being the better scan as compared to the sonogram. I was set up to get the lump removed a couple weeks after the imaging, and not at one point was I told that it could be breast cancer, but after the lump was removed, the surgeon called me, told me that it was breast cancer. Hadn't fully read the preliminary pathology reports, but would read them and get back to me in 3 to 5 days, and then hung up the phone. To say I was shell-shocked is an understatement. I composed myself, called my dad, let him know, asked him not to tell my mom at the time, because I was leaving one job to go to another, and I didn't have the free time to explain and answer the thousands of questions that she was sure to ask. 5 minutes went by and my mom had called. My dad could not hold out that long. She asked me the thousands of questions that I knew she was going to. I told her I did not know. Well, she goes, "Well, I'm going to get to the bottom of this," and she called the surgeon herself and asked all the questions, and we were meeting with that surgeon the next day. I was told that it was going to be a double mastectomy, no matter what. There was no way around it. The surgeon had not performed the surgery on any males before, and I just wasn't comfortable with that. So I said, "Thank you for your time, and I'm going to get a second opinion." I met a new surgeon, Dr. Lon McCroskey, and he ultimately is the reason why I'm here today. He at the same time was saying that it's a double mastectomy, but knowing that I was going to be very busy with work, I could do the right mastectomy and come back and do the left mastectomy in a couple months. He shared my case with many of his friends from MD Anderson and Johns Hopkins. And the morning of my surgery, he got the call to not treat my case, men's cases, as exactly like women's cases. So I only had to do the right mastectomy. They did a 1-inch margin around the nipple, taking the nipple. I have a scar about from here to here. And I ended up doing 4 rounds of chemotherapy. I opted to do 4 rounds of chemotherapy as a Oncotype DX test determined that if I did chemotherapy, it could reduce my chances of cancer coming back over a 10-year period over 10%. And being 24 years old, I felt great. I didn't feel sick at any point. I thought that, why not? So I did the chemotherapy. I lost my hair. I was not really nauseous. I had some body aches. And I did 5 years of anastrozole following that as a hormone therapy treatment. I started the Brett Miller 1T Foundation shortly after I was diagnosed, and our major goal was to spread the word that men can get breast cancer. It is possible. I was 17 years old when I first found the lump, 24 when it was diagnosed. So the importance of early detection is key. I know 7 years seems like a long time. I was lucky that it was a slow-growing cancer. Not very many others can say that. I will say repeatedly, I was extremely lucky. And because of my parents pushing me to go get a physical and the doctors that we met here in Kansas City is why I'm here today. And it was my surgeon, the second surgeon, Dr. McCroskey, that told me that if I was willing to share my story, that he thought that I could be a face of male breast cancer, because he had performed the surgery on 12 other men, and he could try to reach out to them to see if they would answer any questions I might have, but most of them took time off work, had the surgery, recovered, and went back to work and acted like nothing ever happened. And it was right there in hearing that from that doctor saying that with my youth and my charisma, if I was willing to share my story, I could help others. I ended up doing that within 3 months of my own diagnosis, talking with another male that was diagnosed in the area, but I couldn't stop there. So in 2014, myself and Sherry Ambrose co-founded the Male Breast Cancer Coalition with the help of my mom, Peggy Miller, as a director. We are now a worldwide organization with men from all over the world sharing their stories, coming together to work to build the awareness that men have breasts too. As my shirt says. Men, you can get breast cancer, although it is rare. They say it's 1% of all breast cancer cases. There still is that possibility. So early detection, self-breast exams are the way to treat this, because in physicals, doctors are not going to check your breasts like they would for a woman. The Relay for Life American Cancer Society was there for me from the get-go. I reached out to 2 other organizations with the help of my mom at the time of my diagnosis, and they essentially told me that they were for women only. So anything and everything that I can do to help the American Cancer Society, I jump at the opportunity. Thank you for your time. If you want to read more about my story and the Male Breast Cancer Coalition, please go to the malebreastcancercoalition.org. And this is your time to fight back, because early detection saves lives. Thank you.
Brett, thank you so much for sharing your story with us tonight. We're honored to have you. And to everybody watching at home, thank you so much for watching us virtually. If you'd like to, you can stick around for our movie night. We will be watching Yes Day and Guardians of the Galaxy. They will begin shortly.